What's up guys, Houndish here. Today we're jumping in with another Destiny 2 video, and of course we've got the weekly reset coming up for the 27th of January, which will actually be the first time we get any sort of new content introduced inside of 2026, so we'll see the return of Arms Week this reset. We also have a couple of updates from Bungie to talk about regarding that, but it means we get some new weapons, so we'll cover those briefly and what to expect from the event this week. Additionally, there's another component this reset with a medieval dungeon challenge that'll award players with a unique emblem, so we'll talk about that, as well as some additional game updates this week. Plus we'll cover the rest of the content refresh, new activity stuff, vendors, featured rewards, and a handful of other things in the video. So if you guys enjoy this one, a rating down below would really help us out on the channel. Be sure as well to hit subscribe if you want to stay up to date with everything related to Destiny 2, but otherwise, now let's jump into it. And so first up, right here in the shooting range, we can expect Ada 1 to return this week for the Arms Week event. So this is the first bit of kind of new content, I guess, for 2026, where we're going to see a couple of new featured weapons. And this time the event focuses on bows, so there'll be a new bow, the King Orfeo, a precision frame arc combat bow. Pretty cool looking weapon as we can see right here. It also has a holofoil variant associated with Arms Week, although there are additional holofoils like this glowing orange one, which I know some folks have said we'll be able to get in Arms Week. However, that doesn't appear to be the case, so I would assume the holofoil you can see on screen will be the featured one for the Arms Week weapons, and then the kind of glowing orange ones will come in a subsequent event, potentially from Call to Arms or indeed Heavy Metal. So just keep that in mind, but on top of the bow there will be the Heron, which is a new aggressive void glaive. And Ada 1 will be down here in the shooting range. She'll give us some kind of intro quests that award us with some of the volatile mods for the event. These are kind of broken mods that really boost some of the weapons up, but of course they're only available for the duration of the event, so they'll be available until the next weekly reset. They'll also be focusing for some legacy bows and additional items that we'll be able to pick up via the reward track in the event home. So that pretty much explains what we can expect. I think on the most part, we'll get drops of these from playing portal activities that also have additional engrams. Plus there'll be the quests and options to actually direct purchase some of the weapon stuff. So I'll keep you posted with Arms Week at reset, but let us know down below if it's something you're interested in and if you'll be jumping into Destiny 2 this week to try and pick any of those things up. An additional component that we'll get this week, Bungie have said there'll be a challenge from the Dark Age. So there's kind of a mini event taking place alongside Arms Week, and it'll run from January 27th up till February 3rd. And basically, they're asking players to complete Warlord's Ruin using only bows, glaives, and swords. They've said we can swap between different bows, glaives, and swords, but the dungeon must be completed in one go without going to orbit between encounters, and flawless completion is not required. Also bear in mind, this has to be a solo completion, so one of the obvious things a lot of players will use will be Praxic Blade because it's incredibly strong. But basically, if we can complete the dungeon this week using that particular setup, we'll get access to a new emblem that we can see on screen, which is pretty cool. So there's a side component some folks will jump into Warlord's Ruin for. And obviously with bows and glaives being featured, Bungie are going for this kind of medieval theme for the events this week. So let us know if you'll be diving into that as well down in the comment section. Outside of that stuff, of course, we will get the refresh for Renegades content. So primarily, that affects Equilibrium, which will see a refresh, and that basically only affects the Heirloom exotic drop. So there's one chance per character per week to get Heirloom as far as we understand it. Otherwise, the rewards inside of the dungeon are totally farmable. On top of that though, in Tharsis Outpost, if you've earned any Syndicate shipments, they will show up right here at the weekly reset. And of course, there is the weekly Territorial Profit quest. And if you complete that, you'll be able to pick up a shiny version of the Renegades weapons with the accelerated assault origin trait on each of your characters. So even though it only advertises the quest on one character, you'll actually notice the infamous engram will be available on all three characters at the Spider. So worth keeping that in mind if you are after the shiny versions of these weapons. On the portal side, on top of Arms Week engrams being added to a bunch of portal activities, right here for the Vanguard alerts, of course, we will see a refresh. So the quick play nodes will get a new challenge with one of the accelerated assault weapons available. On top of that, we'll also get a new Grandmaster, which will feature an additional pinnacle weapon. Additionally, that will have the accelerated assault origin trait if we can pick it up. So we'll keep you posted with the refresh on those at Tuesday's reset. I'm also assuming that Trials will still return on Friday despite Arms Week being live. Just keep in mind that Gift of the Nine, Honors of the Nine, and Benevolence of the Nine, which are some super old Trial shaders, are now dropping from 5 and 7 streak rewards. So if you go to the Lighthouse, you have a chance to actually pick those shaders up. And it's the first time they've been back in the reward pool for quite some time. So if you've been looking out for them, good luck jumping into Trials this week. For other featured Year of Prophecy content, of course, on Kepler, we'll get new weekly missions, and the challenge for this, with the bonus engram right there, will actually drop a tier 5 weapon. So if you're below 550 power, you can get a tier 5 on a weekly basis by completing these, but of course, above that, you may as well play the Sieve, or indeed farm the loot cave on Kepler, which you can search up on YouTube as well, which is a really quick way to actually pick up Kepler weapons and armor, some of the armor being fairly decent to be fair. So if you missed that and you need to catch up, or you ran out of stuff in Renegades to do, but you fancy picking up some additional gear, that is worth bearing in mind. On the Eververse side, I'll keep you posted at Weekly Reset. Hopefully, we'll continue to see the rollout of the N7 armor and the Taken armor pieces on Tuesday, but I'll keep you posted with that at the Reset. Our last mention is briefly for the World tab. Just keep in mind that the raids and dungeon content is totally farmable now, so if you want to go after older exotics, legendary stuff, you can farm away to your heart's content as there are no weekly lockouts. And the very last mention is for the Ascendant Challenge in the Dreaming City, and this week it will be the Shattered Ruins, which you can find via the Spine of Keres, so not too bad to get to, but if you want to find it, I'll run a clip at the end of the video showing the location. For the moment though, guys, that is everything we have to round up in the video. So, as always, I hope you found it useful. If you have, a rating down below would really help us out on the channel. Let us know in the comments section as well if you'll be jumping into Arms Week this reset with those couple of new weapons featured, or indeed jumping into that dungeon challenge for the cool emblem. Otherwise, if you want to stay up to date with Destiny content, Bungie news and all that good stuff, hit subscribe and I will keep you posted. Otherwise though, I appreciate you tuning in as always, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.